Hello, everybody.
Oh
Hello.
there.
Oh,
How's everybody doing today?
good, great,
Yeah.
incredible.
Excellent. All right. So, hello and welcome to the Black Wall Street Times live stream. Today, we're talking about Black women, power, and the future of American politics. The recent Democratic primary loss of Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett to James Tallarico has sparked a larger national conversation. Are Black women truly supported in American politics, or are they expected to save democracy while receiving the least political protection? I would like to introduce my co host, Alexandra, and two of our guests. We will actually have some more guests today as well, Adrian and Nikila, who is running for Senate in Oklahoma. Adrian is the publisher of 92 Percent News. She's got a lot of followers. So it's really nice to have her voice here today. And then we're waiting on two more folks, but we're going to go ahead and get started because it's already 4:11, and we know people have got things to do. So I'm going to go ahead and pass this first question on to my co-host, Alex.
Yes. Thanks, everyone. Yes, I just really excited to be here with you today. As some of you know, I wrote the op-ed on Jasmine Crockett's loss and the cost of being a Black woman in American politics. So that's why we're having this conversation, just to get everything out in the air. And so I guess my first question is just how are women feeling with Crockett's loss? And I want to focus on you, Adrian Yates, since you're been working directly with media. Just kind of want to get your post check and get your perspective.
Okay. Well, thank you for having me. It's great to be here. It's my first live stream, so I'm really excited. I'm usually hiding behind the camera. Um, it's it's hit or miss out there. It's kind of hot, and then you have some people that are saying, come on, let's fight. We're in this together. Let's, get Tallarico over the finish line. And then you have some that are saying, no, this was not right. We have a voter suppression issue. We have a bigger, I guess, bubble that we are kind of squashed in, that we will still have the same issue when we get to November.
Mm.
And then you have a lot of Black women that are upset because we're qualified. We are the most qualified. Jasmine Crockett is the most qualified candidate. You line it up toe to toe. She is. And so we're just highly overlooked, and a lot of Black women are tired of it. So some of them are like, this has taken the cake. What do we do?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we are tired, we're exhausted, we're it's been quite a long journey since Kamala Harris has since she lost her election, and then we saw Cori Bush. There's just been a long list of women in politics that have suffered through this. So I just want to get your perspective, Nikila, just to kind of get your perspective on like what you've been thinking since Jasmine Crockett has since the election. Yeah.
So I'm a little biased because of the fact that I was a part of the dynamic 7 women, Black women who are actually running for Senate within the United States.
Mm-hmm.
So I deemed her more as like a sister at this point. I haven't gotten to meet her yet. I can't wait. There's going to be that chance, but it was very demeaning to me. Absolutely. It made me feel like we cannot win for losing. It does not matter what position we're put in. We cannot get ahead of the narratives. We cannot. We have been told that we can't do XYZ since the beginning of our time. We have been told that not even just as Black individuals, even just as women, that we're not able to serve in leadership roles just because of the mere fact is that we're hormonal, or we're out because we have to take care of kids, we have responsibilities, we should be in the kitchen. And I felt like there was no glass ceilings that were actually broken that night. I feel like there will never be a time where we will actually be looked at as good enough. We have given the blueprints to how we can lead, and we're always looked at as the leaders. Everyone always looks to us when it comes to, how do we move? We led the civil rights movement. I mean, right along with the men, because they had to lead in some capacity, but we were right there keeping the tempo with them, right? So it's like, when do you actually say, okay, you guys have done a lot, you've done a lot, you've contributed a lot to society. We need to put y'all in. Y'all, a lot can change if we have y'all in leadership. And so it really felt defeating to me. It felt like it was going to be near impossible for me until I actually looked at, what kind of big giant that I'm running against too. And I just don't feel like me and her are any different, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely makes sense. I mean, and can you kind of elaborate that, like, because you are running in the Democratic Party, correct? Both of you are
Mhm.
running. So just kind of want to get your perspective on like what is happening behind the scenes in the Democratic Party for you
Mm.
to feel like you're still not getting supported despite having, like, we have Kamala Harris, we have the vice president. I mean, there's just a long list of Black women in politics. So I'm just kind of curious. I mean, why is there still more hurdles to prove to
Oh,
jump?
absolutely. Let me go ahead and just get on my soapbox here for a second
Okay.
because I am ready to go. So, I have been in this race since March of 2025. I was the first person to throw my hat in this ring, and I have been proud about who I am. Black, white, Native American, right? But even though I'm white presenting, I am culturally Black. My mother is Black, and I grew up with my mother. My grandma raised me. My aunties and my uncles. I know nothing less than the Black community, right? So at times I even slip up and say that I'm Black. Like, I mean, I wouldn't say slip up, but I know that I am multiracial, but I identify as Black nonetheless, right? So there's times that I drop the white, and because I mean, obviously there's something in me, right? And people can see that on the outside, but they can't normally see the other two that's in me. So I always say that I'm Black and Native, always big on that. So never have hid it. I've always been a person that's always been about voter education, that's always been about historical, monumental Black history. And I always tell those stories, especially to my supporters who are white who may not have known the back history of where we come from. So anyway, never had the help of the Oklahoma Democratic Party. Never had the help of them. Um, they actually just recently, and it was something that I was suspecting along the way, but I had gotten some information from, 3 or 4 people just recently who just told me that they had people run against me. Mind you, I was the only candidate that was in the race for 6 months. They had 6 months from March 2025 to September 2025 to throw in their hat and say, hey, I'm going to run. Heck, they had time even before me. I mean, the when he got, what is it called? I just lost my train of thought when it comes to when Trump was, put into office. They they had all that time from then, from January 20th, 2025, all the way to March to say, hey, I want to run as a Democrat. But there was no one that was saying anything. So I was just like, I take initiative. And that's all I've been taught my whole life, was to take initiative. When someone else don't want to do it, you know that you're qualified for it. You know what you can do. You know your boundaries and how you can put yourself out there. Do it. So I did. And I got a lot of backlash. I got talked about. I got told that I needed to dress more appropriately. Mind you, I
Yeah.
was at a picnic, and I was wearing shorts, like those Bermuda shorts, wasn't even showing anything. Told that I needed to dress more modestly. And that went on with me, where they were telling me that I couldn't dress. So I just went ahead and I said, hey, I'm just going to start wearing scrubs. How about that? I'll just start wearing scrubs because I'm a nurse too. I said, if me being at a picnic wearing shorts isn't professional enough for you, then I'll just start wearing scrubs. So then I ended up getting more professional business clothes, and they couldn't say anything about me anymore. started
Mhm.
hitting every hot topic that was going on. And then now it was, she's too progressive. She's too aggressive. You need to hold yourself back. You need to stop saying XYZ. And the thing was, is they were trying to basically censor me. And I said, that's not a thing that I'm going to do. I'm not going to be censored. I'm here. I have the biggest platform out of all of the, I'm sorry. I have the biggest platform out of all of the candidates that are in Oklahoma right now, even our governor. And that's because people actually align with me. People actually resonate. So when September came around and there was a mediocre white man that jumped in after I built this whole platform, people were like, what's going on? Why is this? I find out that the Democratic Party actually went out and scouted another person because I was not palatable to who they were trying to pander to, the Democratic Party. So
Wow.
then, yeah. So then right after that, he was trying to go against me and he could not match my, I always say my freak. So just to be funny, he couldn't match my energy. So he's been trying to catch up with my platform and it just has not worked for him. Well, he's lied on me. He said that I told people that he's ran a race before. He's ran a race and he said that he's never ran a race. But the thing is that when people started pulling up receipts that he's ran a race before, he never did apologize, backtrack, do anything. He just simply deleted the post, the first guy that's running against me right now.
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
And running against
Yeah.
you in the Oklahoma Senate
Yes,
primaries.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I should have clarified that.
It's
But
okay.
once I start going, I can't stop. So I apologize. But yes, the one that's running against me, because there's two of them now. Well, when they
Wow.
saw that keep up, he couldn't keep up at all. They said, well, we need a bigger name, someone who's ran before. They put in an 80-year-old man who ran for AG in 2010,
Mm.
who
Mhm.
no, he just does nothing but talk about being retired. So tell me how that's not. I mean, and let me make a better point is that there's two ladies. There's one that's running for governor, and then there's one that's running for a congressional district in Oklahoma City, right? None of them have any primaries. It's just them. It's just them. But they've never tried to run anybody else against them.
But you're the
They announced
Black
last year,
woman
yeah.
who's aggressive, as
Mhm.
you know. That's really insulting to hear that coming from, members of your own party. And for those who are just now joining or watching, Nikayla is running for Senate in Oklahoma. She was running against Senator Mark Wayne Mullen of Oklahoma, but he has been snatched out and appointed Department of Homeland Secretary by Donald Trump himself. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
now there will be more white men that will be running against you.
Mm.
But if we can, I want to introduce Keandra. She just joined us. She is a civil rights activist in Atlanta, Georgia. She's an entrepreneur. She's a marketing guru. I have been following her for a long time. This is actually our first time interacting, so I'm so happy to have her on our platform today. But this question is for all of the women. While we're still here waiting for Latasha Brown from Black Lives Matter to join us. Are Black women respected in American politics? Just simple. I
Mhm.
mean, we talked about it, but are they? And I'll pass the mic to Keandra.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm sorry about the delay. Are you guys able to hear my audio fine?
We can.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
That's okay.
So I'm really active on social media. So I see the thing, like oftentimes on social media, people will say the things out loud that they normally wouldn't say to your face. So I get the chance to see how people really feel. And I would go so far as to say that, I'm sorry, can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yes, we can hear you. You
Okay,
can
so
just
I
repeat
would
what you just said.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. I would say I work on social media, so I get to hear the things that, well, I get to read and see the interactions and the things that people will say on social media that they won't necessarily say to your face. right? So people tell you how they really feel on social media, especially on platforms like Threads or X, right? And it's like a cesspool of just unchecked opinions. And so I would say, from what I've seen and what I've personally experienced both on and offline, not only are Black women not respected, they are not valued, they are disproportionately targeted, they are held to an impossible standard that their counterparts, their white male counterparts specifically, are not held to.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, just in my personal experience, it's just been it was just a shock just to see that Jasmine Crockett had lost, and just trying to regain hope of who's going to fight for us in Congress. But I see that Latasha Brown is on the line. Are you there?
I'm here.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us. I know you're a big hero of mine. I've been following you a lot with the activism you've been doing with Black Lives Matter, and with Black Voters Matter, and so forth. So I just want to know, like, what's just getting a pulse check. What's been your opinion about what's happening?
I think there's a couple of things that are happening. We all feel it. There's a realignment that is happening.
Yeah.
And so people are the politics of norm are no more. Like we're in a whole different kind of political paradigm, and we're operating as if if we just keep pushing through, it's like one of those things that we keep pushing through, then things are just going to fall in place. That's not where we are. Like, voters are different. The political landscape is different. The climate is different. The people who are in leading are different. Now we're looking at a space where, particularly those of us who've organized and done work in the South, we've always been able at least to look at the federal government to have at least a little more integrity, a little more protection than we have in our own states. Now and many of our states are probably our go-to more than it is in terms of looking at the federal government where we can actually make change. When I think about even what happened in Texas, clearly I think that there's an issue of we're working in a political frame that people can rig the game. And because of that, it creates kind of the outcome that seems like, oh, this is an outcome that Jasmine Representative Crockett was rejected. That's not what I know. They went through extraordinary efforts to make sure that they actually stack the deck against her, because they know that not only she's a formidable candidate, but they also know that she's somebody, she goes to Congress, she's going to give this administration hell, as she has been, right? She's going to tell us where all the dead bodies are. She's going to tell us where the things are. And so I think, if you even think about it in terms of political leadership, she is probably one of the most recognizable. If you ask people, they will refer to her, whether love her, like her or not. You cannot deny that she will fight, right? And so I think there's a couple of things. I think that we're at the intersection of, there has been a coordinated attack on Black women in particular. Mm-hmm. I think there's been a coordinated attack on anyone who this administration sees as a threat. And I also think that while those are the outside factors that are impacting us, I think we're going to have to take some responsibility for this too. That ultimately we're operating, and this is what I mean by that. We are operating like voting is some like cool thing we're going to do. Whether I'm going to go to the club or not, I don't know. I don't feel like going to the club, right? If you see, we are straight up under attack. We are seeing that Black women and Black people in general, when you look at our unemployment rate, for Black women in particular, it's almost double the national rate, but we have a higher unemployment rate that we've seen in decades. When you look at how our Black businesses are impacted by all of this of fear on DEI, there are companies and corporations, right, that literally have been abandoning their commitment to Black communities, Target being one of them, and we still should be boycotting them, right, and many others as well. That impacts our economics because it also impacts our businesses, right? And when you're looking at even federal contracts, I know people who have been doing business, have been part of teams to do federal contracts, that now they've actually been decentralized. They're the larger corporate businesses have been incentivized from bringing Black companies on the teams. That impacts the bottom line. That impacts professional services that normally our engineering firms and other firms that have been able to do this work and get contracts. Y'all, they are literally taking food off our table and money out of our pockets and attacking us. And ultimately, we're still treating this like it's just like whether I'm going to Disney World or not. At the end of the day, you should be fighting like hell. And I am the first to say, do I believe that voting is a cure-all? Absolutely not. My entire life, I've done work, civic engagement work. But I also know that when you are at war, I have to use all available tools to actually protect myself and my community. I am never going to let somebody just walk in my house, take my stuff, and there's no consequence. And so we have to actually see voting as a way of resistance. We also have to see it as a way of leveraging collective power. And we also have to see it as a vehicle for us organizing ourselves, that we have to organize and fortify ourselves and actually make sure that we're having information in this moment. This is not the same moment, right? Nothing stays the same. I've been talking about that this week, that ultimately nothing stays the same. Everything changes. And even our oppression, while there are folks saying that we're going back, you can't take us back. Like, it's impossible to go back. But what that does mean is that it is possible to recreate an oppression that looks very similar to what we've experienced in the past, right? When we don't participate in stopping that, we're actually participating in creating that. Because everything that we're creating in this moment, and your activity or your inactivity is helping to generate something in this moment. It's generating the politics in this moment. And so anything we're doing or not doing in this moment has a consequence, and we have to deal with the brunt of whatever that consequence will be.
I think that Adrian would agree with you on the holding folks accountable, because we definitely had a conversation about that the other day. Even though, we want the right candidates who will represent our community to win in office. So this question is going to be for Latasha as well, and for whoever else wants to jump in. What does this loss mean for other Black women running for office? Keisha Lance Bottoms, we have Juliana Stranton, and then of course we have our Oklahoma Senate candidate right here, who was running against Markwayne Mullen until he got plucked or cherry picked out, Nikayla Jasmine Thomas from Oklahoma. So we'll start with you, Latasha.
I'll say, I think this loss means, I'm a big basketball fan. And so I like analogies. And so, at the end of the day, one of the things that I like about athletes is athletes know what to do with a loss. That ultimately, that when you are in a competitive situation, that a loss can't be the thing to defeat you. Like if you're a real champion team, because let's think about how many times Michael Jordan lost in the election before he actually got a ring. But what you do is every single time you take a L, that has to be a lesson, not a loss. You got to get whatever the lesson is so that you come back stronger, you come back wiser, you come back with more resources, you come back with more truth, whatever. That we have to do an anatomy. It's not just good enough to say, well, look what they've done. Yes, we know what they've done, right? But we also have to take a good look around, how do we take this moment? That in this moment, this momentum that she had in this campaign, we've got to continue to build on that. As she said, we don't just let that dissipate. We've got to continue to build on that so that we are actually, each round goes higher and higher. And so in this moment, I think it is the moment for us to be activated. We should be mad as hell that she lost. We should be upset about this, particularly in the circumstances. If it's a fair, fine, but we know that the GOP got involved in this. And because of that, there has to be a consequence. And so we can't get so caught up in the idea of that's just what they're going to do. No, they're going to do what you allow them to do. And so I think in this moment, we should be building. We should be, if you upset, if you pissed off, if you mad as hell, direct that. What should you do? You should organize. You should actually be telling people what is happening. You should support a frontline group. That there's some of us that are my organization and others, we're filing lawsuits. We're actually challenging this. I think her own campaign is filing lawsuit that is challenging this. So that we should be challenging the fact of not necessarily getting caught up just even in the Democratic primary, because she has actually moved in and endorsed the candidates there, but the circumstances and the process in which it was voter suppression, the part of voter suppression. We've got to pay attention. We should be organizing. We should also get involved with political organizations or groups that are doing this work. This is not a moment that we can sit on the sidelines. If you think they still in now, wait till we see the midterms, which we should actually know that if they're willing to do that in a primary, in a Democratic primary, that ultimately what we've got to do for the midterm elections is we have to overwhelm the vote.
I mean, piggyback on that, are you seeing, and any one of you can speak out on this, and I know, Nikayla, you mentioned this about the Democratic Party not being supportive. Are you seeing like behind the scenes of the Democratic leadership like re-strategizing, or at least one, addressing the voter suppression that happened in Texas, and then two, re-strategizing how they can help support Black candidates, Black women candidates in particular? Because you have Justice Democrats. That's another organization that helped propel AOC and others from in Congress. I'm just kind of curious to know what's out there to kind of counter this the stealing of the election.
I mean, nothing in particular that is, of course, primarily for me, but we do have the Tulsa Young Democrats. We have the ACLU that's trying to combat all of this stuff because we have an Oklahoma chapter, but we have just small little organization, grassroots organizations that are trying to do their best. But it's really been me that's been out here organizing, mobilizing, and getting people activated to vote, getting them registered, getting them switched over, because we just recently saw voter suppression within our own party, because normally we vote during the summer. I think it's every 4 years, every 3 or 4 years. We go to a convention and they vote on if the independents should be able to vote in the Democratic primaries. Well, they voted this year and they overwhelmingly said, yes, we want independents to vote in our primaries. Well, the new leadership decided that they weren't going to file the paperwork. They just weren't going to file the paperwork. And so now it had everyone kind of scrambling. It's scrambling to get registered so they can vote for the people in their primary. Mind you, these are all independents, because we had a low Democratic registration rate. But because I was getting people mobilized, they started taking credit for what I was doing. And just like I said earlier, I have the biggest platform out of all the candidates in Oklahoma, and I'm the one that resonates with just about every single demographic. And so they took that from me and they made it their own, but I'm super proud about that. But they're not doing anything special or in particular to combat or even promote Black leaders. No, to answer your question.
Wow. I don't know. Keandra, did you have any thoughts on that?
I have something to add. Definitely. So as far as the Democratic Party in general, my experience here in Georgia, I've seen the opposite. I've been approached by Democrats in Georgia to potentially run. And just right out the gate, it was, you have to change this here, that we're going to have to make you, as she said, more palatable. Don't say this, don't say that. And the most recently when I was approached, if I'm honest, I got more of the sense that they weren't invested so much in me as they were in having a Black woman. Like, everybody's excited about a Black woman, like they were talking about me being Black before they even asked what the issues were that I believed in. They were like, we have this old white woman who's a Republican, or she's a moderate Democrat, and we want to stick it to them. And, I felt like they were trying to piggyback off of all of the excitement around and even some of the anger around her. And they're trying to kind of change that into their election to say, hey, you're a Black woman. We need a Black woman running right now. But I don't feel like they significantly took any steps to not just support me, to strategize. They really, I swear, they never even asked me one issue that I stood on. It was all, we need a Black woman right now. People will support you.
Ugh, Nehemiah.
I
I'm just
just,
shaking my head. I'm in shock, actually.
it's nice to hear this. Like, it's nice to hear that this is happening because we know that Black women have been the backbone of the Democratic Party when it comes to voting and getting candidates through. And it's really a shame, that this is happening in real time, even after Jasmine, had a defeat in Texas. We have the other Jasmine who's running in the very next state, and they're trying to outplay her on both sides of the aisle, and that's really unfortunate. Um, do you worry this could affect Black voter turnout if voters feel their candidates aren't being protected or supported?
100%. 100%. I think that we know as with logic that our vote kind of carries. I think that we know that collectively, and I think that that's why we kind of weaponize that in a way. But it's so true. Your favorite candidate can't win if we don't. I mean, if we have a say in it, if we don't go vote, how are they going to win? You're going to have to really mobilize. You're going to have to be the people that go and knock those doors and get these people to turn out, because we overwhelmingly always do the heavy lifting.
Mm, 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 mm.
Yeah, I also think that we're kind of tasked with it's so much. It's so much. It frustrates me so bad. But we're tasked with being excitable. Like we go out and we excite the base. So they steal that from us. They take that from us. Jasmine was all over the place and still doing her job in Senate. So there were a lot of people that showed up to vote in Texas that had never voted before. And I think that had a lot to do with her because she excites it. But what happens is the same thing happened with Kamala is you see the excitement and the white women are talking, and they're making you think that they're going to vote for you. And then you see the numbers, it turns around to be like the same thing. So just like is it Latasha?
Yeah, Latasha
said,
Brown.
We have to, whatever we do, it has to be like what is it? Like something that's rolling down the hill and that's gaining traction, because when they do it, they are already out there. They have a funnel, a marketing funnel that, and they stick to the same thing, no matter whether it's stupid or not, or whether they believe it or not. And we have to get to a point where we're sticking to the same thing. We're singing the same song about whoever the candidate is. And just like I forgot her name, Calandria.
Yeah, Keandria.
She was saying she wasn't even asked about being Black and what did she have to offer. They just needed a Black person, and it's because we excite the base. We get people to turn out. I'm here in Maryland right now, and when we first moved here to Maryland, Angela Alsobrooks was running for senator, and Governor Wes Moore was running as well. This guy that was running against Angela Alsobrooks spent $65 million of his own money, to put out all these ugly ads. They said so many bad things about it. Was just really bad. All the lies and everything. The difference, because I think the campaigns were kind of the same with them distorting and the ugly Black woman and all of this stuff. I think the difference is Angela Alsobrooks is mild-toned. She's mild-mannered.
Yeah.
So she handle it just a little bit differently, and they expect us all to be that way. So when you put a little sass in it, you pop your neck a little bit, you clap back at them. They are afraid of that. And the way that Jasmine handles white men, they do not like it. The way that Kamala Harris handled white men in the Senate, because you need a lawyer in the Senate. You need a lawyer in Congress. It's the courtroom. It's the country's courtroom. I'm sorry. You need somebody up there that can read between their crazy bills that they put out, that a lot of the Republican senators and reps up there, they don't even know what's in it. But you get a lawyer and they can dissect this. They can write stuff that gets up to Congress. So, but the way that Jasmine does it and the way that Kamala Harris did it, she would push their backs to the wall. And a lot of people don't know what they do.
She's
Like,
a prosecutor.
I find myself in the comments
Yeah.
arguing and educating people. So you do know that, one, you're voting for a U.S. Senate seat, right? This is a U.S. Senate seat that's going to affect the way they make policies in Senate, right? So you're speaking from a local perspective. I hear a lot of Tallarico passed 18 bills. How many bills have she passed? Okay, but do you know that the committee that she sits on up there, where she's already doing Senate work, and they have to nominate judges, federal judges, and it's a lot of legal stuff that has to happen there. And she's a freshman, she's a junior. So they normally don't get bills passed, especially in a all Republican Senate.
Yeah,
Okay,
majority.
so if you keep going down that line with these people that don't know what this stuff is, it just keeps going over their head, and they keep throwing out the propaganda. But okay, so now you're still saying she didn't pass any bills. Well,
Right.
okay, well, let me take you back to where she was with him. She passed 3 bills in 2 years. He has passed 18, 16 in 8 years that he's been there. She put forth the most bills. She wrote the most bills out of everybody. So it's like they don't care. But when we go back with these people, we need to have facts about our candidates. We need to know what they have done ourselves. It's not enough just to say, oh, she didn't take money from AIPAC. Well, because they're looking at AIPAC track. Okay, but you need to be going to the FEC. Like you need to be going to where you're supposed to get the information from. So we need to be telling them that. Okay, did you go here? Because that's a partisan person that is talking all of this stuff.
Right.
Adrian, they don't.
Adrian, I think that Latasha wanted to jump in there really fast.
Oh, jump in! I'm sorry.
I know she got to run. I wanted to talk to her about the Save America Act before you go. So if you can put your comment.
So just quickly, I just want to say, one, I do want to note that because I want us to be careful about how we train Black women. I know Angela also Brooks, and she ain't walking there easy, and they didn't necessarily support her in that way. There were Black women who literally formed the front line to actually help support her. And the second thing, kind of related to this, and even with the SAVE Act, because I really got to go. Even with the SAVE Act, we are seeing legislation now to actually basically legalize voter suppression. To change it to basically, I want people to go and check out and see the SAVE Act. What it essentially does is it creates additional barriers for people to be able to vote or not have access to the ballot, right? It eliminating people off. It basically took what we've been fighting in the South, voter suppression, put it all in one thing, called it the SAVE Act, and then this is what you have. But I'm saying that what I want to say though is, oftentimes when we're talking about politics, we're talking about it as if we don't have any power. Oftentimes when we're talking about this, we're spending more time talking about our oppressor than we're talking about our personal power and what we can do. And so I'll just offer that I think that is really important for us, that if we're saying that we don't like what's happening, we got to be the change. We're not the change once you get in office. Whoever you are now is who you're going to be when you're in office. So if we really want fundamental change, the way we approach our politics has to be different. Are we telling the people what it is that they want, or are we listening to them? Are we taking the moment to actually build infrastructure around our work? Are we just a candidate that think I'm so wonderful that people should just gravitate to me? Or are we taking the time to actually build a real infrastructure where you've got almost like a people, you've got a people movement. So when they come after you, like your people can actually help and provide some support for you. Are we actually radically reimagining and offering? What are we offering that is different? Are we courageous enough to actually offer policy solutions that are not just a tweak of what is the same, but is something remarkably different? I say that because I think what's incumbent upon us in this moment, I don't think they're going to get it right. I don't think that one day they're going to get it down from heaven and we're going to sit and we got to wait on white benevolence. I think it's going to take the ingenuity, the innovation, the creation, the organization that we have to really start thinking, not just as citizens. We can't just think about leaders in somebody else's system. We're going to have to really start shifting and see ourselves as founders of a new America and as leaders that are going to lead people to something that is new. But we've got to actually have the capacity, do the work, do the intellectual work to really understand and put forth something that people want, because people want something different, whether you like it or not. Some of the same reason people voted for Obama is the same reason they voted for Trump. Not the same exact reason in terms of issue, but Obama was seen as somebody very different than in the traditional political process. Trump was seen as somebody very different. And so people are looking for something that is different, that is authentic, that is new, that is going to take us to the next iteration. What will be the next iteration of Black political power in America? That's the fundamental question. And the people and the candidates that can help people answer that question, those will be the candidates that I think that people will rally around. And I think support doesn't mean they're going to go in the first time. Maybe not, right? Abraham Lincoln, it took him 7 times, right? But he became the president. So my point is, we've got to stay, and I applaud the sisters that are putting yourselves in this moment in time, for you to put yourself out there to run as candidates, to actually in a very, very high tension political environment. I want you all to know how much I admire and respect you, and just thank you for your work. But we've got to build organization. We've got to build collective power. Individual power does not work. It has never worked for us on its own. It will not work for us to carry us through. So the stronger you are, the stronger you and your tribe are, the stronger we're able to actually create what it is that we need to. We can build an ecosystem that is really based in the Black imagination.
Natasha Brown, everybody. Black Voters
Yes,
Matter. Thank you so much for joining us.
Wow.
That was amazing.
Yes, for sure.
She's powerful.
Oh yeah, she's very inspiring.
Very.
But going back, she made a lot of points about the SAFE Act. So does that mean? So what does that lead the John Lewis Voting Act? Is that is that even possible if the SAFE Act is in place? If that's signed into law?
If we were able to walk it back, is that what you're asking?
Right.
Like, basically retroact it, like once we get a whole new administration.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it would be, and you can go in and you can amend it. You can vote on those things, and then having a new Congress in with people who actually we may not agree on everything, but some things we agree on, and which is human rights. It would be easier to amend those things and say, we need to get rid of this, this, and this. But it would take a lot of political power to do that. It would take a lot of people in the Senate and in the House to be able to pretty much retroact all of that. Just to answer I don't know if that answered your question.
Yeah, not to throw my opinion in there, I don't think that all of them believe that everybody should have or everyone has human rights, right? Just by the way they're acting with our immigrant community, right? So definitely could they would be able to walk that back. It's the legislative branch. They can get in there, they can appeal, they can, vote in some new legislation, they can abolish anything. But right now we know that the Republicans and the MAGA Republicans are gunning for the Save America Act, which would, as Latasha had mentioned, would make it much more difficult for folks to be able to vote.
It's really going to make it hard for women.
Very hard.
Right.
Married women on top of that, and the MAGA women are the people that are going to be affected the most.
And I don't think they know it. So I have a cousin that is conservative, that her family is conservative, and I'm originally from Alabama, so deep South Alabama. So I know, like, it's really hard and tough there. But the way that I had to explain it to her, when I would say that it's going to affect how, Black and brown people vote, she wasn't getting that, right? So I had to say, because she would say, well, I have my passport, I have my, stuff. I said, well, what about people that don't? Let me tell you about me. I've been
Right.
married 2 times. My name has changed 2 times. And on my birth certificate today, my birth certificate is scratched out and they wrote my name. And then they even wrote that wrong. But my social security card, my passport, everything else lines up. Thank God that I've had my passport since 2000, and because I was a flight attendant for Delta. So everything matches up. But who's to say if I go to the poll to vote and I have to take my birth certificate and my passport,
They might
what's
make a
going to
fuss
happen?
about it.
Yes,
Right.
what's going to happen to
Yeah.
my vote? And so she's like, oh, well, that happened to her daughter who was in school. And she's like, the white guy told her that she had to have a passport because they take driver's ed in high school. And she said, and then the Black lady said no. And she said, I went on .gov and she doesn't have to have that. Like, I'm like, she's just a kid. So you see, it's voter suppression starting already, and the bill hasn't even passed.
Right.
So I need you to look
That's
at
real.
the bill. So it's like some things they don't hear. They don't hear it unless it affects them, and it has to be explained in a non-challenging way, because in her mind, illegal immigrants are voting. They're voting. So, and we're doing this to keep them from voting, but they're doing this to also keep you from voting. So,
Right.
Um,
Nakayla,
so
I wanted to, because we got 5 minutes left. And I wanted to ask you, could you see a third political party emerging in America?
me? Or who are we asking?
So
Nakayla.
if you really want me to be honest, I would say not in this climate. So I wouldn't say within, 3 to 5 years, but anything after that 5 years, I do believe that there will be a third party that's going to basically be the working class. And there is one that's trying to emerge, which is the working class, the working families party, sorry. And I believe that they will actually take off. And I'm actually trying to get endorsed by them right now because they actually work for the working class and the working families. So, but do I think that that's going to be something that's going to be a immediate takeoff? No. I think that we have to really pry and really, really, really advocate for, because that just happened in Oklahoma where we were going to have the Green Party and it didn't even get or the Sooner Party, not the Green Party. And it didn't even get put on the ballot. Like it didn't get enough signatures for it, where people just they don't understand. They're so used to the two-party system that it's scary. People fear what they don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
They
That's
absolutely do.
I
And
wonder what
so
that
not to
does for
stop.
us, though, as Black people. So we've already switched parties once, right? We left,
Right.
because of the civil rights and who would be for us. But now we're seeing that there are those same people in the same party that we're in. So I'm wondering where we will be as a voter bloc.
And those people we're
I
talking
think we
about
just need ranked
racist folks.
choice.
Yeah, we're talking about
I think we
racist
just need
people
ranked choice.
on both sides.
Right.
Yeah,
So I
think that
wonder.
we should draw. Sorry,
No, go ahead.
I apologize.
No.
I think that we should just basically drop Republican or a Democrat, and we should basically have ranked choice voting. Because when you have ranked choice, you're not going off of what their party is. You're going off of their ideology and what they stand for. So if we didn't have party and the R and the D and the red and the blue, like we're a part of gangs or whatever, then it would be much easier. Maybe we could actually get people with some common sense or some better ideologies into power. I mean, that's just how I view it, and someone else
I
can
think that's okay in a
digress.
system
That makes so
where,
much sense.
yeah, I think that's okay but we still, for Black people, we still have to figure out a way for us to unite and stay together.
The thing
Right.
is I think that we have to emerge together too. Like I feel like there's still a lot of back and forth within our own community that we still don't So one thing that I've noticed, and I know that we have like 2 minutes, one thing that I've noticed within our community is that there's, even though we go and educate, they still have a firm belief that the system doesn't work for us. The
Mm.
system doesn't do this. The system doesn't listen to us, because that was me at one point in time before I got even interested in politics. I was like, I don't know why I would vote, because they always vote in the same thing. They don't care. Like they outnumber us. So I think that we need to have more collective power and more political education, but actually listen to those people. And as unfortunate as it sounds, and I'm just an honest person here, listen to those people who are actually basically giving us the the I don't know how to explain it. Like, they took woke from us, because I was going to use woke because,
Yeah.
woke was the grand rising queen back in
We
the
can still
day.
use
Like,
woke. Woke is a part of the culture. Listen.
I mean, it was ours, and they take everything
Yeah.
from us, and then they don't realize how it hurts us in the end. And I really hate that. I will never ever be able to express my frustration with that. I think that that's all of us, and I can speak for all of us on here. But
Right.
I have a different, and I can also say that I have a different, I don't know, privilege too. And I think that that also helps within our race too. But we can always talk about that later.
So one last question. I know it's at the top of the hour already. Um, what must happen in the next 5 years for Black women to gain more political power in America?
I'll be real short because I'm long-winded. I think more of us have to run.
Okay.
The more people that run, the better chances that we have. So while Jasmine was defeated on this end, there was some wins. We got a Black judge. Like, we are moving, but we have to get more people out there running for local offices. Like, even in your state, in your cities, like, we have to have those positions. And that, I think that's
because it starts
what will
local.
change. Yes, I think that's what will change a lot. So we have to be out in the local communities, not just our own, but like, I'm going to Alabama next week to interview Doug Jones. He's running for governor there. Black women voted for him by 94%. We elected him senator by 94%, and he lost to Tuberville the next time because of all the MAGA stuff. But we felt like he has a real chance of being our governor.
Victorious.
Yeah, being our governor this time. So I think we have to go into communities, and we have to rally around the people that are for us. Now, we know that Doug Jones is for us because he's fought KKK. He was instrumental in helping our Ketanji Brown. Like, he's been instrumental in a lot of different things, and so we know that he's for us. So we have to get behind candidates that just not only are Black, but the ones we know that are for us. And we have to push their backs against the wall and ask the hard questions. What are you doing for our community? Not just the white community, the Hispanic community, the Asian community. What are you doing for our community as well? What
do you think of DEI?
What are you doing with our
How
votes?
do you want to implement that back? Yes.
Right. What are your plans? Like, Tallarico should be really pushed on. You didn't put a lot of money into our community, right? Because you just thought that you would just have our vote. And, now they're saying, well, Jasmine said to, for us all to come together. No, a vote is earned, right?
That's right.
We will come together, but a vote is earned. So what is he going to do? The same way you didn't want to vote for Jasmine, that's the same reason why we don't want to vote for him. So I think we need to be in our local communities, and we need to educate ourselves more, spend more time on the candidates. Like, when I get off from here, I'm going to learn about you, Nakayla. I'm going to learn more about you so that I can speak on you. Like, when I'm in those comments, because I get in there. Like, I get in there and
She
I'm going
does,
back.
man. She don't miss a beat. No,
I'm
she got
disabled, so sometimes I'm just laying in the bed all day, and I'm just like, "What'd you say?" So,
I have a ton of followers who do that right now. Like, I don't even have to jump into my comments anymore just to even defend myself. Even when I have the trolls come on there, they're just like, "And what are you doing?" Or, I mean, they will start eating them up. They'll just be like, "Okay, well, I want to see you. I'd like to see you jump in and put your hat in a ring." Okay, when they'll be like, "Oh, this is such a subpar candidate." Mind you, I'm not. Because I believe in me, and I think that they all believe in me too. Shout out to my Oklahomies that are watching. And you know what? They always say, well, you should run then. And they all, I mean, but they say far crazier things, but I just let them. That's all it is. Like I have a girl right now that's, I guess we're in a biracial war right now, even though I'm multiracial. And I told her yesterday because she was talking about something. Oh, you were on here when I was talking about that, weren't you? No. Anyway, so there's this far right girl who's
We weren't live,
who's
but we're
biracial.
live now. So if you want to tell everybody that's watching, go right.
Yes. Okay. So she's biracial and she's far right and she's like into private schooling. She's basically a propaganda machine for MAGA. Their token. That is their tokenized girl. Anyway, so yesterday she had put out all these troll posts about how she gets called the N word, do. But you can obviously tell that it's someone of our community that's trolling her in those comments. Like I can tell when someone of my community is typing because I don't ever see a white person call or say master. I never see that when they're trolling, right? I always see our community always saying like shucking and jiving, cool. Excuse my language on here, but I'm just giving you the information, right? That's basically what they were saying. So I was like, as a biracial woman that's culturally Black, I can obviously see that someone from our community that's trolling you. Why are you're rage baiting right now? She makes a whole post about me saying that I'm racist. And I mean, she's trying to like flare up all of this outrage. I have all these MAGA people. And mind you, I had just made a post about MLK, like not even a couple of hours ago, hours before that, where I was just talking about how people talk about MLK being a Republican before. And I was like, he didn't even have any kind of affiliation because he was trying to pressure both parties to pass a Civil Rights Act.
Thanks
And
for
he
making that
ultimately
clear.
was, yes, very successful with it, or else I mean, depending on how we all look at it, but I mean, we were integrated, right? So obviously we won. And they always make that they always make that comparison. It's like, no, there's nothing to compare here because at the end of the day, he was on our side. He was not on your side, and you're trying to tokenize him. Stop galvanizing him as a token. And so I made that post, and then she said I was racist, and then I had all these people come in and say you're a racist person, you're racist, and I'm just like, baby, reverse racism does not exist. It does not exist.
Mhm.
I don't care. I mean, we can talk about, I mean, not us, but we can talk about racism all day. But once you start telling me that I'm racist, you lost the whole argument right there.
Right.
Well, Adrian, Nikayla, thank you so much for joining us
Yes.
today. To my co-host Alex, thank you so much for joining us
Yeah.
today.
Yeah. Thank you
Great.
for having me.
Yes.
Yes.
Black women have long been the backbone of American democracy. Today's conversation reminds us that protecting democracy also means protecting the leaders who fight for it. Thank you to our guests, and thank you to everyone for watching. And
Yeah.
have
Thank you
a
so
Thank
much.
wonderful
you.
day.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.